Hey everybody, welcome to coordinate grids. Coordinate grids aren't that tough, you just got to remember a few minor things. First of all, we're going to be talking about the x and y axis. Sometimes you hear them call it the x and y coordinates. X basically just means when we go across the bottom here. So these are our x coordinates. Our y coordinates are when we go up. So when we say x and y coordinates, we're saying our first number is our across number, our second number is our up number. So if you just remember that, first thing we do is go across, the second thing we do is go up. So our x and y coordinates. So for this first problem here, the star is going to be located at 3, 1, start at 0, then you go over 3 and up 1. So we're going to start down here at 0, we're going to go over to 3, and we're going to go up to 1. That's going to be our first point, and we'll put that fancy star right on top of there. So there is 3, 1. We went over 3 and up 1, and that's the main thing, is making sure that we do it in the right order. And sometimes we tell the kids that when you're a baby, you crawl before you stand up and walk. Some teachers say that an airplane, it has to drive along the runway before it flies and takes off. As long as we remember it's over first, then up. Over first, then up. So let's take a look at the next one here. So here, the smiley face we're going to make is going to be located at 1, 3. So if you remember the last one, same numbers, different order. So we were here for this problem. Let's see if it changes our location, if we change the order of the numbers. Start at 0, go over 1, then up 3. So we're going to start at 0, now we're going to go over 1, up 3. And oh, that's going to be our smiley face this time, and there's our smiley face. So it does change our location. And that's the thing that can be tricky with these, is that we can give you those same numbers. If we just change the order of the numbers, it's going to change the location. We always have to remember over first, then up. Over first, then up. One of the games that we'll play in class, which is kind of fun, is going to be the dice game. And the dice game is pretty easy. This is going to be our x coordinate, our over coordinate. This will be our up coordinate. So we just roll our dice, and we'll call a student up and say, okay, you've got to put your mark at 4, 1, and we'll have them put their initials there. So they're going to go over 4, up 1, and we'll put a CD for my initials. And then we can just call another student up and say, okay, we got 1, 3, so we'll just use a different color here. 1, 3, over 1, up 3. And I'll put another letter here because we do need to label those positions. So that can be one of the games that we're playing. It's always over, then up. The last thing I want to talk about is, what if they do it to us in reverse? Instead of us putting positions down, what if they give us the original position? So let's say they give us this position, they say point P, and they want to know what are the coordinates for point P. Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start down in that corner at 0, and we're going to go over. So we went over to 4 to get to this row. So our over is 4, comma, up 4. This one is 4, 4. Let's try another one. Let's say I put a point at, how about right here. Once again, we'll give this one a label. We'll call it L, point L, and they'll say, what are the coordinates for point L? I go over 4, up 1. So point L is going to be 4, 1. One last one I want to point out that can be a little bit tricky is if we are on that bottom line or on our sideline, on that X, that Y on the outside. So let's say I put one right there. That can be tricky for kids. And we'll call that R. Okay? R would be, do we go over at all? No, we don't. We're staying here at 0. So we would say that is 0, comma, we went up 3. That's 0, comma, 3. That is how coordinate grids work. and they're very, very easy to practice. Just always remember, over first, then up.